Unschooling, by its very nature, is unique to each family and even unique to each child in the family. But when you're new or if things aren't going well, it's not uncommon to hear from parents who want someone to describe a typical unschooling day. We could ask the unschooling community to share their examples, but no one is really typical. Stay with me to the end, and I'll give you 3 secrets to successful unschooling and some information about something free for you. Sometimes people suggest that an unschooling day is like a day in the summer, filled with potential for daydreams, explorations, and discovery, or a Saturday morning filled with the hustle and bustle of everyone being together. Your home may have both, some days calmer, other days busy. Unschooling parents are tuning into their kids so they're aware of what kinds of opportunities might pique their interest. Unschooling parents are more of a tour guide or a resource finder, someone who's going to walk with them as they learn how to navigate life. So if you're new to the Unschooling Mom to Mom podcast, welcome. I'm glad you're here. These are little 10-minute pep talks to help you understand that you don't have to duplicate school and your kids will still be successful. It's all about knowledge and support, getting the information that you need, getting the support that you need, and taking a little bit of action. That's going to help you as you're trying to figure out what to do when you step away from a school approach to learning. So this week we're talking about typical unschooling days. One of the first things that parents notice is that many of the pressures start to fall away. The parents and the children are free to be curious about all kinds of things that cross their paths on a daily basis. You're not busy checking the boxes and getting the curriculum done first. This might be one of the reasons it's hard to produce a typical day on demand, but it's also one of the most wonderful things about choosing this approach. That's what freedom feels like. It's really all about individualizing, and unschoolers take this idea of individualizing seriously. Sure, there can be IEPs or parents who give their kids a couple of options after they've done what's required. But the individualizing that happens with unschoolers, that's next level. It's not lip service. It does mean, though, that your home isn't going to look like anybody else's. This is foreign to us after years of school where we were conditioned to know our worth based upon comparison and competition. It's unfamiliar, but it will get easier as you begin to focus on individualized needs of your family. Perhaps what is typical about unschoolers and their days is the parents' attitude about life and learning, prioritizing connection with their kids over academics or supposed tos. Our focus is to add something to our child's day that might make their eyes sparkle, something that connects and brings joy. So your day can be busy or relaxed, whatever your family members need. Even if something was on the calendar, does it have to happen? If it does, can it be paired with something else that makes it a little more fun, a little more enjoyable? If it doesn't, maybe it can move to another day when everybody's in a little better mood. So keep an eye out on what's happening in the community. Sometimes things change seasonally. Maybe you need to hit all the touristy things to see what's out there this month. That might be a fun thing to do. And a new habit as you start to create your own typical day. Sometimes asking about typical days may mean we need to dive a little deeper into deschooling. Are you still thinking in school terms, subjects? Maybe you're not trusting that all humans are hardwired to be curious and to learn. Most of us weren't raised to think like that, but it's true. And we may need a little help to dismantle some of those preconceived ideas about learning and children and parenting. Since unschooling parents aren't nagging their kids to complete lesson plans, there's more time to connect with each of the children. And this is where the magic happens. When kids feel heard, they connect more with their parents. That's how you're going to know what your next steps should be. So here are my 3 secrets that unschoolers use to get a handle on this typical day idea. Number 1, Tune into your child's interests and curiosities, not to turn them into lesson plans or some extensive unit study, but to explore with them and see what they need from you as their best resource finder. Tuning in can be tricky because we subconsciously and maybe not so subconsciously want to run the show a little bit. We want to share our wisdom and guidance, right? But so often their little budding interests can be bulldozed by our enthusiasm and our glee to feel needed. I have more about that in number 3. So give them time to dabble. Let them mess around with a topic without having to master it as soon as possible. It may just be a fleeting idea that is leading them to an idea that they will really want to know more about. That's why we can't get in there and steer it all. We can't see what their little brains are working on. We have to be gentle with all that help we want to offer. Second secret, embrace the flexibility. Being able to pivot as needed, whether it's because of the weather or you don't have the bandwidth after some big push like the holidays or relatives and their helpful advice or whatever you're just coming back from, or maybe kids just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. Paying attention to these factors will have a huge impact on whether or not your day goes well. Don't bulldoze through just so you can feel good about checking the boxes. This flexibility is yours for the taking. It's what leads you to truly individualizing the learning, the parenting, the life that you and your kids deserve. And the third secret is to continue the internal work. This too is going to be really individualized. I can't give you the specific how-to, but I can encourage you to look at your intentions. See where fear is sneaking in because that's what good moms and dads do. Or I want them to live up to their potential, so I need to push a little. We've had a lot of conditioning about what's expected of us and of our kids. And sometimes we have stories in our head that we just haven't dismantled yet. But with time and with living this unschooling life, we begin to see how kids are hardwired to learn. We start to see how trusting that process creates stronger relationships, which makes us more connected. And that leads us to helping our kids find the opportunities that really fit them where they are. One of the best ways to get more help from me is to join my membership group. As a YouTube subscriber, I'm waiving the sign-up fee, so you can hit the ground running. If you're like me and so many other parents, you need support as you step away from what everyone else is doing. You don't have to abandon your friends and family, but it really helps to add in a circle of unschooling parents who get it. We meet a couple of times each week to ask questions, to share what's going on, to get help, all the things that are going to help you be successful at this. And nope, none of our days look like anyone else's. Certainly nothing about it is typical. But as you do this more, learn more, build your own confidence, you'll create something that fits your family perfectly. I'd love to help you do that. I'll have links below to help you. And I'll put the link here for the typical Unschooling Day webinar that I did recently. You can go watch that next to really get the full immersion in all of this. And I even have a free PDF to help you create your own typical day. So be sure to go there next and you can get access to that. Remember, reach out. You don't have to do this alone. Happy unschooling and Happy New Year.